Well, good morning, and thank you for joining us this morning. Bonjour, and thank you, Dr. Rose. We are here today because Doug Ford doesn't care about you, because he's decided to spend $175 million on an early election that we don't need, rather than spending that money on getting you a family doctor, or do anything to make your life a little easier. I have 3 kids who are all young adults, and I see firsthand what their generation is facing. Young people can't find jobs. They can't afford a home. And frankly, they're missing life milestones. None of them have a family doctor. And they wonder if they'll ever be able to start a family. The sad thing is, you know what they hear from their friends? If you want to succeed, you have to leave Ontario. And that really pisses me off. So do I think we should have an election right now? No. But it is our opportunity to change the path that Ontario is on. This is Doug Ford's Ontario, and over the past 7 years, things have just gotten worse. So let's change it. I'm Bonnie Crombie, and I promise to do more for you. Thank you. And Rose and I are happy to take your questions. I'm going to start that off if I can, but I'd like Rose to contribute as well, because as the former president of the OMA, I know she's given this a lot of thought. I will say to you, a little late and not enough. Too little, too late. Doug Ford said 7 years ago he would fix hallway medicine. It's only gotten worse. He said he'd end wait times in hospitals. They've only gotten worse. 2.5 million people don't have access to a family doctor. Soon it'll be more than over 3 million who are at risk of losing their doctor as doctors retire. Our plan will create 3,100 doctors in family medicine and team care so that everyone in Ontario will have access to a family doctor. And yes, we will present a plan. It will be costed, and it costs as much as the pre-election checks. Rose, I know you'd like to respond to this as well.
Absolutely. Thanks for asking. I know Dr. Jane Philpott. I have a lot of respect for Dr. Jane Philpott. The fact that in December 2024, the Conservative government decided to hire Dr. Jane Philpott has nothing to do with a strategy for healthcare. Had healthcare been a priority of our current supermajority sitting government, it would have been well established in 2018. I know what it's like to practice family medicine in Ontario. And for years, Ontario's doctors have led this message loud and clear that we need more family doctors, that we need shorter wait time in the emergency department, that we need access to consultants. And that hasn't been prioritized. And so now that Dr. Jane Philpott has been invited to the Conservative team from a Liberal background, shows me that even the Conservatives are asking the Liberals to fix healthcare.
Let me just add something if I can. We're launching our tour here in Barrie because 55,000 people residing in this area don't have access to a family doctor. 55,000. It was just 2 weeks ago. We saw in the town of Walkerton 1,014 people line up in their parkas, some of them seniors with their walkers and in their wheelchairs, hoping they can register for the one new family doctor that was coming into town. There's hopes of a second one coming. The next 500 people could get access to that. Young mothers with their babies in arms, wrapping them up in a snowstorm, waited 6 hours. This is the healthcare situation in Ontario. It's horrible. It's disgusting. It should never have happened. This is Ontario. This is Doug Ford's Ontario. This is what he has created by not being on the job fixing healthcare.
See that the PC's already put out a release saying that you're very
Does the mayor of Barrie understand that 55,000 people in his own community don't have access to health care? How does that help the situation? How does that help solve the health care? Do you know how many people are homeless? I went to tour the food bank here in Barrie. They supply food for 7,000 people each and every month. That's the reality in Ontario. Over 2 million people using a food bank. People who can't pay rent, can't buy groceries. They're using food banks. And they've certainly lost the dream of owning a home. Our schools are overcrowded. The mayor is entitled to his own opinion. Let the people decide if this is the kind of Ontario that they want, because they can choose change, and we will do more for them.